Hello people, welcome to Estudely YouTube video. Today we're gonna talk about Kali Linux. A lot of people asked me to make a hacking tutorial video, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with some basics of the hacking. This is in no way gonna be a full tutorial about becoming an ethical hacker in like 10 hours or something. That's not possible. You have to do your own research for that, but this is like a base for someone who's interested and want to get into this field. So you can just follow along this video. So firstly, what exactly is hacking? Hacking is just basically finding exploits in a system and just exploiting the exploits. Okay, that's what hacking is basically. It's just making your life easier, finding shortcuts. Sometimes. Okay. Now, for all of that stuff, that's like ethical hacking, white hat, black hat. That you can obviously, you must have read that like 1,000 times. I'm not gonna reiterate that. We don't need to. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna explain you how to install basically Kali Linux. Okay. Now this might depend on whatever system you are running, and you might be thinking, Aman, what is Kali Linux? Like what's that? Is that like an app or something? Well, yes and no. So first of all, if you are running Windows, which I'm assuming you are, since like 90% of our audience runs Windows, so on Windows to get Kali Linux, it's actually quite easy, frankly. So if you just search for VirtualBox, and if you just go to Oracle VM VirtualBox and just download the VirtualBox for Windows, you can just like download it if you want. Okay, so just go to downloads and find whatever, so like Windows or OS X or Linux, whatever. If it's Windows, go for Windows. If you are on Linux, for some reason, do not use this. Instead, go for something KVM or QEMU based. But if you are running Linux already, I'm assuming you know how to do that stuff. If you are running MacBook, like if you are running Mac OS on a MacBook with an M1 chip, you might need to get VMware Fusion or UTM, because I'm telling you, VirtualBox will not play well with you. But anyways, Windows it is. So yeah, you just click on the Windows option, you just download that. Once that's downloaded, you install it. After that, you come here and you check for the VirtualBox, VirtualBox extension pack. You also click on here and you just download it. It just gives you extra disk encryption and USB 3.0 and all that stuff. But while that is happening, you need to go to Kali Linux, right? Now, Kali Linux is an operating system, just like Windows, just like Android, just like Linux, all that stuff. Kali Linux is a flavor of Linux. Okay, so it has a bunch of tools, a bunch of exploitation tools, forensic tools, all that stuff that you would need to, penetration test a system, basically, right? So you can just go to kali.org, and on this website you can just go to download basically, or get Kali. And on this page, I'm gonna go for dark mode because why not. You can get a direct metal, like you can get a direct ISO file which would work directly on your system. I would not advise doing that unless you know exactly what you're doing. There's also an ARM module, which is basically, for whatever reason your laptop has an ARM chip, you can go for that. Mobile as well, you can run technically Kali Net Hunter on Android. Once again, I would not recommend that unless you know what you are doing. There's cloud, you can use Kali in the cloud computing stuff. Containers, that would be Docker, and I believe I forgot the other name, but yeah, that would be Docker. You can live boot it. So basically, you put it on a hard disk or a pen drive or a flash drive. You plug that into your computer, and then you just use Kali. And that's basically it. And there's WSL, which is Windows subsystem for Linux, which is when I told you that Kali Linux can run as an app. Would not recommend it, because once again, if you don't know what you're doing, you might mess up your Windows system as well. So if it's for just experimentation and stuff, go for virtual machines. Just click on that. Make sure you get a 64-bit version, otherwise a lot of things will not work. Go for the VirtualBox because we just downloaded VirtualBox. VMware is paid, but you can get a free version of VMware. I'm not gonna tell you how because that's illegal, but you can. If you just search around a bit on a few search engines, you will get the VMware version, VMware actual VMware, and then you can download the VMware version. Once again, as I said, the entire downloading Kali is free. The entire operating system is open source, I believe. So that should be fine. Now we can just directly download it, and it will download it in a web form, or you can just get the torrent for it. And you might be thinking, wait, what? Torrents? Like, isn't that illegal? No, torrents are not illegal. Torrenting is a system, right? It's a protocol. That's it. BitTorrent is a protocol. It's not, the piracy is illegal. Torrenting is not. So, anyways, you'll probably get better speeds on torrent. So just get the torrent and download it. Once you get this VirtualBox file, it will be a .ova file. All you have to do is just double click it. Okay, that's it. All you have to do is double click the file, and bam, you're done. That's basically you downloading Kali Linux. But before you double click all of that, and before you get through all of that, because one thing you need to turn on is you might need to open up your computer's BIOS setting, and you might be like, what? How do I do that? Why don't you show a tutorial for it? Why are you like showing me just a screen? Well, the thing is, you cannot record BIOS, right? So the issue is I might have to take my phone and record it, but once again, I'm on a MacBook. I don't have a BIOS setting like you guys. All you have to do is, it's very easy. You might have seen this before, right? Just shut down your PC, you restart it, and then you just press escape or F2 or F9 or F10, whatever the key is. You can search it out for your PC. Okay, so if you have, let's say, an Acer Nitro 15, you just search how to open Acer Nitro 15 BIOS. Okay, and then you just follow that instructions. Once again, you are getting into hacking. You are expected to solve your own problems, because there will be a lot of problems, frankly. So anyways, you can do that. You can find into the BIOS setting. In the BIOS setting, you will have to go into something known as security. Now this might look very, very, very different on each and every laptop. There's no one common option, but all you have to do is you have to just turn on Intel virtualization technology, or sometimes it's known as virtualized, virtualized technology, or VRT, or all that variation. But you just need to turn on that, okay? Or even sometimes it's Hyper-V virtualization. If you're for whatever reason running a Ryzen or like AMD processor, the process should be similar. Now in that case, there won't be an Intel virtualization, but just an virtualization in general. So just go to your BIOS and enable it. Okay, this might look daunting, this might look very scary, but don't worry, just follow any YouTube tutorial or that stuff. It should work. Okay, now once you do this, just restart your computer back to normal, and then double click on the file which I told you to, right? The .ova file which we got from the VirtualBox, like from the Kali. Just double click it, and that should, in theory, open Kali Linux, right? And well, now what? What do we do? What's the password? Why is it asking me for a password and all that stuff? Don't worry, we will get through that in the next video. For this, make sure, well, the next video might come out tomorrow or maybe after an hour, I don't know. Until that time, you have this like 1 day or 1 hour window where you just install the said things, and then follow me to the next video. Hopefully this made sense to you guys. Okay, if it didn't, make sure you comment down in the in the comments, if there's like some issue you are facing or something didn't make sense to you. But let me know. Okay, and thank you for watching. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.